It's time for Gateway to Geats, the video series where I say words. And this episode of Geats that we're talking about, episode 46. Whoa, we've been doing this for 46 weeks, everybody. Imagine that. This episode really hammers in an idea that they've been kind of going over for the past little bit, but it's basically been in the entire thing. That fundamentally, everyone deserves a chance to be happy. Everyone deserves that opportunity. But it fundamentally should not be at the expense of others' happiness. But that anyone can make the choices to be better and fundamentally fight for their desire. Because it's ultimately a very restorative justice kind of idea. It's like, yeah, you did wrong, you did bad, but you can come back from that. And it's really shown through three lenses that we see in this episode of to be redeemed, being redeemed, and have been redeemed. So we have Daichi, Ned Sparrow, over here just checking in on his creepy tree. It's just like, oh cool, my creepy tree is back. That's nice. And he gets attacked by the shit goblins, Baroba and Gekara. And they're just like, alright cool, you have a shit tree. We're gonna use this to make a fucking Jimato. Right? And Neon and Michinaga fucking save his ass. And they're just like, hey, we kinda need to, like, get rid of your shit tree, but in, like, the good way of, like, bringing everybody back to life. And Daichi's like, you know what? Yeah. You know what? That's better than having it turn into a giant fucking monster. Right? And Daichi's feeling guilt and all that kind of stuff. And ultimately, the problem with all that kind of gets dealt with. We're just talking about Daichi's story right this moment. And they all go to the tree. Neon, Michinaga, Daichi, and Keiwa's with them. And Daichi goes like, hey, this is the liquid. This is what will, like, stop all the Jimato stuff and save them from the tree. He pours it out on the tree. Sarah comes out. And Sarah's alive again. And Keiwa just hugs his sister, breaks down in tears, and it's all just really nice. Presumably, the reason why they didn't save everybody is, A, give Keiwa and Sarah their little moment for the story, but also, he probably needs to make more liquid. Fundamentally, Daichi is on the path to becoming a better person. While Keiwa is seeing just how far his friends will go for him. Because he's in the fucking god realm, right? And Ace is just talking to him like, hey, so the world's back. We have a chance to bring your sister back. Things are a little fucked right now because I'm like chained up with barbed wire. It hurts a little bit, but hey, that's the price for being a god. You know what? I can understand that. But hey, the ultimate lesson, everyone deserves to be happy. Just don't do it at the sacrifice of others, right? Sacrificing others' happiness is kind of a shit thing to do. And Keiwa goes like, yeah, it was kind of a shit thing to do. And then he goes through the episode just seeing how other people are like going so far for Keiwa, because it's not because they realize it's like, yeah, no, our friend is hurting. Our friend fundamentally is just hurting. We can help him, do all that kind of stuff. And he sees literally the lengths Michinaga is going to help him and Sarah, and how much he's trying to just make up for the mistakes he's caused. And all throughout that, he's like helping Michinaga up, and Keikera is just off to the side, just being an absolute shit goblin. Just going like, oh, where's the fuck's my badass Kamen Rider? What the fuck are you doing? Why are you being soft? And Keiwa just gives him the biggest fucking death glare of, what the fuck I'm gonna kill you. You took advantage of me. I'm gonna kill you. As Keiwa and Michinaga basically look eye to eye and just kind of have a brief moment to talk. Because Michinaga throughout this whole episode has gone through what Daichi and Keiwa are going through. He has gone through the accumulation of guilt and trying to be better and trying to recognize that people care about him and understand him. He knows he's a shithead and he wants to do better, so he's targeting his shitheadedness towards things that could help people. He goes and saves Daichi. He also goes to make sure that the tree is safe, that they can revive Sarah. And he goes to take down Baroba, basically one of the biggest people who has been egging him on and abusing his mental state, and he beats her. He destroys her with his Kamen Rider defeating powers, because Baroba's just like, oh yeah, I'm not going to use the new ones. I'm going to use my Kamen Rider powers, because I'm big and strong and can kick your ass. But ultimately, she gets beaten, she dissolves into nothingness, and Keiwa comes to help him up. And they basically say, like, sorry, I was a shithead. Yeah, I'm sorry I was a shithead. And they come to an understanding and are on the path to be able to forgive each other. This show brings up a lot of things. It's about desire, but it's also about, like, everyone deserves the right to fight for their desires, right? But it also has an asterisk there of, as long as it's not at the expense of others. See, like, Dupin is a showcase of that. His desire is only to hurt others, so fundamentally, the show is showing that even though he has a desire and he has the right to fight for it, it is a fundamentally selfish one that should not be allowed. Michinaga was like that at first, but over the course of the show, he grows, and that desire changes and molds into an understanding that we have as an audience, that it fundamentally was to help others. It was just through shitty hard love, and he is coming around to understanding how he can use his strength to protect others. Daichi is also seemingly a good desire. He wants knowledge, but fundamentally the way he goes about trying to get that knowledge only hurts others. And Keiwa is ultimately good. His desire is good. He wants people to have a chance at life, but he loses sight, and no one can truly be happy at the expense of others. He can't sacrifice the world just for his family. Which, yeah, it's a little utilitarian, but it's also just, like, directly... It's like you can't go out to the street, stab someone, and steal their kidney to give it to your sister. That's kind of what Keiwa was trying to do. He went out to the street, stabbed someone, give me your kidney. This was a really good episode. I loved it. Fantastic. It was great to see Buffa up front and be like the big badass he can be. It was a great fight. Good to see Michinaga take down Baroba and just be like, yeah, no, fuck you. I have grown past this. Also using this Kamen Rider killer power. It was great. One domino down. A couple more left to go. So, real quick, Gachard is coming up soon. I will be continuing to do weekly reviews with Gachard. I don't know exactly what the name is going to be, because I do want to kind of keep the alliterative kind of vibes I've been doing with this and Blazar. So right now, the ideas in my head are gather up Gachard, you know, like gather up your cards, or get Gachard, like get got. So I'm kind of floating between those two. Tell me what you think. We'll see what we have to do. In the meantime, while you're dealing stuff, hey, like, comment, subscribe, do all the stuff. Ring the bell. It really helps me out. You could check out the last video essay I made. I thought it was pretty good. I already said like, comment. Follow me on Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram at Boingo_writer. You can also follow me on Twitch. Hopefully, that will be on the upswing pretty soon. You can also follow me on Mastodon at Boingo_writer at vt.social. What else? Tumblr. Link to Tumblr is in the description, so on and so forth. But in the meantime, we talk about meantime so much. What about happy times? You know, like the happy times we have going over the comments. It was a segue the entire time. First up from Fish Pop. Wow, if I had a nickel for every time a power granted by a main writer's final form made them a white-haired god, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice. You know, realistically, it makes a lot of sense because, like, Japan, like, the primary hair colors in Japan is, like, very dark brown, black, very dark hair colors. So you want to make someone look otherworldly, like, yeah, fucking slap some white hair on them. You want to make them look wise and elden and otherworldly, like, yeah, white hair. But there you go. Makes sense. It's like, sure, whatever. Next up from Blaze Chaos. I wonder, what are your thoughts on Daichi having a possible redemption arc despite all the shit he has done? And the audience is now revived, this time with people who love bad endings supporting the Pawn and Tycoon. See, it's a hard call because ultimately the story is giving the argument that he should be given the chance to make it up. He has the ability to make up for what he did, and it's like he has to put forth that effort, and he, so far it seems like he has been in the show to do all that kind of stuff to guilt. I think what we're going to have is a moment where he is given the chance to start on the path to be good, and it's going to end on a, hey, I was shit, but I'm going to try and do better in the future. It's not going to end on, like, I'm a good guy now. It's going to end on, I have a lot to work on, you know? Which I think is a fair enough statement. Sometimes you don't get a happy ending with people. Sometimes shit just happens, right? But also, I think it'd be a really good way to end the Yamato storyline of, like, yeah, the last Yamato is a person who's trying to relearn humanity and be a good person, which is all the Yamato really ultimately wanted, was just a chance to be, just a chance to exist. And I think that would fit. Next up, from Slime Beast, I enjoy how they basically say that, yes, Stepan, even you deserve to be happy. It's great. Also, next episode-wise, love how Keiwa looks at Kekara like you are the fucking source of all my problems. Oh yeah, Keiwa is going to kill that frog. Keiwa is going to murder that frog like he is a fucking Frenchman. And yeah, this episode that we've been talking about really nails home that point. Everyone deserves to be happy. Everyone deserves to fight for their desire. Everyone deserves a chance to be happy. Not necessarily everyone deserves to be happy, but they deserve a chance to fight for it, you know? If we're talking in American terms, it's truth, justice, and the pursuit of happiness. It's not saying you're guaranteed happiness, but you have every right to fucking go for it. You know? Just as long as you don't sacrifice someone else to get it. Next up, from Toa Nui. I don't have much to say on this episode, but one thing did occur to me after I watched it. At first, I didn't get why Keiwa apparently needed proof that Ace could rewrite the world, but after I finished, I realized that from an outside perspective, like Keiwa's, the world didn't really change that much after the Grand End. Just Keiwa and Michinaga got to keep their powers, and the DGP proper was supposed to be gone. So I kind of get why he might not have faith that Ace could bring his family back, especially since Ace wasn't able to make any large-scale changes at the time. Oh, on another note, I like that Japan immediately countered Neon's phasing by targeting her mom, which is always the go-to when trying to hit one who can dodge all your attacks. Although, on that note, I'm a little disappointed with the mom sticking around for the fight after Neon told her to run before Japan even transformed. Yeah, the mom sticking around is very much like, well, mother character, what did you expect? Come on. You're putting yourself in danger. Your daughter is a superhero. She can handle herself. But yeah, no, Neon's powers are just great. They're fascinating. It's a very neat power to see in Kamen Rider. The only other like major superhero I can think that has these kind of powers is like Martian Manhunter, Shadowcat, Danny Phantom. But they play with them differently, especially with how like they interact with the other riders' abilities. Like that fucking shot where Neon is distracting them and Buff is like behind and just like slashes sends out the slash, and Neon's just like phases so it goes through her. Like, that is great. That is just fantastic fucking ideas. Yeah, and also, like, here's the thing with Keiwa. He was in a very bad place. He was taken advantage of. And I can understand, like, him wanting some assurance of, like, hey, I was misled and lied to several times. My trust was abused. Part of me I am distrustful right now. Part of me believes that you are lying to me to get me to calm down and aren't actually capable of delivering what you promise. Can you prove it? You know? And, like, yeah, we understand that that's kind of a shitty attitude to take, but it's like, from Keiwa's perspective, it's like, I've been taken advantage of how many times? Prove it. Prove it, asshole. You know? That kind of thing. And next up from Hafitz Mustakim. Hafitz Mustakim. I think I've done this gag already. I really love the name you gave the group, like the Trickstar, like how each of them have their purpose on how they have their tricks. Love everyone's role in this, like all is essential to bring back Keiwa. Like Michinaga mentally when he confronted Keiwa, Neon's resolve of her family gives her another push when saving Sumuri in order to give more push to Keiwa, and Ace giving Keiwa the truest trust he can give to anyone. Also, I love the commentary on the bad end supporters and helpers where they support Geats' bad end, which is literally fuck the world up, where the pawn is one of the catalysts along with Baroba and Kekara in the background, and the spectators giving support to the power of the riders of the bad end. Geats versus Tycoon's ideals are great. Is essentially Keiwa asking Ace, is that can I really trust you this time for real? And Nago versus the pawn is also great, where essentially Kanato gets help from the background and takes advantage of the situation by trying to harm Neon's mom, which makes Neon vulnerable with his attacks, unable to use her illusion and tricks. Like, everything is great. The whole crew is just working on trust, because on several layers in the beginning, they were all told to be distrustful. You know, they were put in a situation where they were basically told by the staff, you can't trust anybody. You're all against each other. And through the course of the show, they're realizing, like, no, we're in this together against them. And it's just all these different kinds of bits, everybody working together trying to get Keiwa back. And it's just like, no, Keiwa's a good guy. We trust him. All this kind of stuff. You know, the group is also like I love the fact that they all have like deceptive powers and they trust each other. Like, Ace is a trickster god. Neon has illusions. Michinaga has poisons. Keiwa is a shadow ninja. Win is a clown. Like, he's a big, bright, brash dude, but he, like, gets the job done. They built their facades in the DGP, right? Like, it is a response to the DGP, and they built them too well, and that's kind of what Keiwa's arc is. It's like, they're trying to push through these walls that they had to build up against this insurmountable enemy, and they realize, like, oh, I don't need to distrust my fellow man, I need to distrust this evil corporation. You know? And the people who want tragedy, Dapan, Kekara, Baroba, they don't trust each other. They're just working each other to get what they want, and it's just like, that's why their plan's falling apart, you know? And finally, from Esconde. You know, when Dapan, of all people, is making sense when he called Keiwa out, things must truly be messed up. Someone better give Win an MVP award, because this man is doing so much work again, tracking down Geats and taking one for the team to let Sumuri escape. I have concerns about how the conflict with Keiwa would be resolved by Ace, and I'm very satisfied with what we got. The fight was great, and it continues to show that Ace is keeping the bigger picture in mind, similar to how he gave up the fight against Michinaga during the JGP in order to get the Vision Driver. He doesn't give his all in the fight this time because it's more important to get it through Keiwa. I love that he pointed it out, he can't force Keiwa to change, and instead backs up his words he's been saying to have faith in Tycoon. Winning wasn't the answer, and Ace's faith in Keiwa is rewarded with his friend listening, well, asking for them to give them something to believe in, and Samori reinforcing of their desire. The resonance of the three of them wishing for the same thing is what unlocks Ace's new god form, I believe. Also, going off the preview, we have the scene from the opening song, and then the next episode is Chained Ace. I mean, that's fundamentally a part of, like, desire, you know? You can only help yourself when you want to help yourself. Like, it's very, like, that's the thing people say with addiction, is, like, addicts can only truly get help when they themselves want it. Ace doesn't want to drag K-Walk kicking and screaming into getting better. Ace just wants to help facilitate K-Walk being better, and, like, he's just like, hey, I'm here for you. I'm sorry I wasn't here earlier. Like, I can help. You know? And all of them just coming together just to help each other. It's really nice. And yeah, it's fascinating to see Ace, this man who's like, chase your desires, I'm chasing my desires, freedom and happiness and all this kind of stuff, being chained down and now slowly being turned to stone. It's a sad irony. It's tragic. And hopefully we get a better end for Ace. But that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you've enjoyed Gateway to Geats so far. And I hope you enjoyed Geats. Remember, like, comment, subscribe, ring the bell, do all the things. And until next time, keep on Geatsing on.